Tanner Toolson, how you doing, man?
Good, how about you?
Pretty good, pretty good. Okay, so we're live here on the Scorebook Live Washington feed. I'm Andy Bueller, a high school sports reporter covering the state of Washington. And this is kind of the first time we're trying this out amid social isolation, amid the stay-at-home orders and everything. Tanner, thanks for being here. Thanks for being our first interview. Where are you right now, and how are you holding up through all this?
Yeah, so I'm just chilling at my place. I'm outside. It's a really nice day out right now, and I don't know. It's just been really, really isolated. Feels weird. Weird time.
Yeah, we talked a little bit off air about this, but how have you been staying in shape? You're pretty limited. Do you have like weights at home? Are you able to at least make some things work?
Yeah. So I've just been doing to stay in shape and stay strong. Just doing push-ups, and I have a few dumbbells at home that I can just use for those. But I don't know. It's just been I've been going to the gym or to the church with my brothers, playing them, shooting with them. So that's been nice to be able to go there, but just doing anything to get out of the house, really.
So for those of you who just joined, Tanner is a recent, he's the Union shooting guard forward. He's the reigning 4A Greater St. Helens League MVP, the Washington High School State Coaches Association's Mr. Basketball, and Scorebook Live's all classifications first team all state. The last time I think I saw you in person, you were coming off the floor after the third place game. That was a few weeks ago, but it kind of feels like a few months ago. How have you processed like the end of your guys' season and just how everything went down at the state tournament in these last couple of weeks?
Man, like the way it went down is obviously not the way we wanted it, but I mean, with us going 27-1 and doing all that we could, especially without Brad half the season, it was just pretty special. And I'll always have those memories with the guys for the rest of my life, really. And the way we went out was pretty special. That we didn't just fold over after we lost them. We took advantage of that last game that we could to end on a good note.
So I can see comments kind of coming in, and we haven't done this before, but as we can kind of go through at the end, and if there's any questions that anyone watching this wants to ask Tanner, we can go ahead and answer those at the end. But do you have a favorite memory of this season as you look back? There's obviously your senior season. It was a really impactful one. You really stepped up, had a breakout year. Is there one memory on or off the court that stands out to you?
Man, that's a hard question because there were so many different memories. Whether it's us fighting in practice or off the court, we're all hanging out, having a good time, or it's the Skyview game or the Battleground game where we win by close. There were just so many memories this year. Going to San Diego, obviously that was really fun with the team, and the last game with us not being playable for the championship game, but to be able to have one last game together, it was just really special. The way our bond was, our team played together.
So this past summer, you played on Washington Supreme and wrote a story about this in the middle of the year that we talked about. But you weren't necessarily like the featured player, the go-to player. It's a really talented team, a ton of guys that anyone who knows the first thing about high school basketball across the state can recognize a bunch of names on that team. You come out with a couple of Division I offers. How did you kind of approach your senior season, and did you know that you could make the jump that you eventually did?
Yeah, so I mean, this summer it was more a learning process than anything, and the way that our summer team played, it was tough for me to play in the style I like to play, which is getting a lot of shots up and handling the ball, trying to be a distributor. So I mean, I knew I could do more, I thought, but the way I looked in the high school season was I knew Coach Conley was going to stay with me and stay positive towards me, and he kept on texting through the summer. He just wanted to know how everything went, and he just kept telling me, like, look forward to the season. Like, this season's going to be amazing. It's going to be crazy for our team, and we have the potential to do anything. And I just stuck with that confidence that Conley had in me, and I'm just grateful for the opportunity to be able to play at Union.
I remember going into the season, we were at Scorebook Live. We were doing our preseason top 10 rankings across the state and all classifications. And uh, I reached out to Coach Conley, and he had said, I just kind of said, like, hey, how are you feeling about the team going into the year? And, you guys had lost some pretty good players from last season. And he said something along the lines of, and Coach, if you're tuning in, correct me if I'm wrong, but he said something along the lines of, like, Andy, like, I don't really say this very often, but we're pretty darn good. And you guys, it seemed like you clicked over the summer, you clicked in the fall, and going into the year, you guys were, it was clear, why you guys had such the hot start that you did.
Yep. I mean, this summer, especially the June that we had together, we kept on winning, and we were like, dang, we could be something special. And then after we won the War of the Border, we won 4 games in a row, and the Curtis tournament, we won that. And looking back on that, I don't know. I think our team, like the morale came together, and our confidence was super high. We knew we could be something special if we just stuck together and kept playing the way we were this summer. And even in high school, we're gonna have more coaching up. We're gonna have more players. We're gonna be more solid. And I don't know. I feel like this summer was really important for us into making that jump from the summer to the actual season.
Yeah, and pretty late in the regular season, your guys' co-captain, still a first-team all-league selection, and Brad Lackey, who, shout out to Brad Lackey, just committed to Whitworth. Congratulations. But he goes down late in the season with a torn knee, and you guys lose a big vocal leader on the court, somebody who really sets things up for you guys and kind of ran the show a little bit. How do you feel like you guys responded now that you're able to look back and see? I mean, that's pretty late in the season. You guys had some pretty key games to play down the stretch of regular season and then into the postseason. Were you happy with the way you guys responded?
Yeah, so when Brad went down, it was obviously in the battleground game where we were having a great game as it is, and then he goes down in the fourth quarter, and we had to rally back. And I remember our team, we after we won the game, where I had that big shot with a second left, and then they missed their 3-point shot to win it. After going to the locker room, we were all celebrating, and then I remember seeing Brad coming down the hallway, and he had tears in his eyes, and I remember right then all the joy of winning, it kind of just got sucked out of me because I knew that this was bigger than just the basketball game that we just won. And the feeling in the locker room was not a feel of celebration. It was a feel of hurt, and we all knew that without Brad, we weren't going to be as good, but we knew that he was just going to be just as much of a vocal leader and a coach on the sidelines and just important to us. And so I feel like we rallied back. And then the next few games, we weren't really used to not having him, and we had a few slip-ups and a few bad games. But I feel like a few games later, we got clicking again. We figured it out a little bit, and then we got rolling right as the playoff state tournament came around.
Yeah, no question. Were you guys happy with the way you responded? I mean, did you feel like you were happy with the way other guys stepped up, and how as a teammate did you kind of challenge and really lean on other teammates to say, hey, this is your time?
Definitely. So one of our big keys we have in our team is trust, and to be able to trust each other. And I knew Caden Horn, Mason Hill, we had some big players step up. Ryan Briscoe, we had some big players step up, and we needed them. Like, we couldn't do it by ourselves. And just the trust we had in our team, I feel like that's most important, and that's what got us to the way we got able to play throughout the next few games. And I feel like that was really big for us. It was a big guy.
So, yeah. I watched you, covered you a few times throughout the year, and I got to say, just personally, a game that I don't know that I'll ever forget was your guys' I think it was the last or second to last game of the regular season at Skyview. You versus Kyle Grueller and Storm, and I mean, that had to have been, if that wasn't Kyle's best game of the season, it was up there. I mean, he was giving you guys everything he had. And they really took you guys to the end, and it felt like the momentum was in their hands throughout pretty much at least the whole second half. Walk me through that game, because it looked like there was something in you that lit a fire, and of course you come through and hit a huge double pump three to send the game to overtime, and you guys walked out with a win.
Yeah, I mean, well, Kyle Gruler, he's a great player, and shout out to him for having one of his best games against us. But our team, we really just rallied back, and we were 19-0 at the time, and we already had the league locked up. We already had a playoff seed locked up. We easily could have been, whatever, this game doesn't really matter, because that game really mattered for Skyview. But we could have been, it didn't really matter. But just the way our team works, we wanted to win every game, and we gave our all. And just the way we responded, from Kyle having his best game, I don't know. I feel like we just didn't want to lose. We didn't know how to lose at that point. So we, I don't know, the way we rallied back, I'm really proud of it.
I think I asked you this after the game, but I can't imagine you practice like a double pump contested three very often. Turning around too.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I saw Kyle Gruler's hand go above my shot, and so I knew I had to double pump it, and then I let it go, and then right when I let it go, I was like, "We're going to overtime." Like that's going in.
There's obviously a lot of mutual respect between you guys. That's clear. So you're not committed to a college yet. You got a host of offers, and like we kind of talked about earlier, you really had a breakout season this senior year. Your high school season was a big part of colleges turning their heads and saying, schools that hadn't reached out to you over the summer that you started to hear from. What's that been like over the course of the year to really kind of see your play reflected in colleges at the next level reaching out? And out of all the offers you've gotten, all the conversations you've had, have you narrowed it down at this point?
Yeah, so it's just been really cool to see the way I played this high school season and see other coaches reaching out for schools that I've reached out to as well. And the schools that have been most interested and the schools I'm most interested, probably top five would be Boise State, Utah State, Utah, BYU, and Utah Valley would probably be my final five schools that I'm looking at. So, I mean, I'm just going to keep it one day at a time, and then hopefully after this coronavirus thing clears up, take a few visits to a few schools, and hopefully decide before I leave on my 2-year LDS mission.
Yeah, so I should mention, so you're going on your LDS mission for 2 years. You don't know yet where you're headed, but you're supposed to find out soon. Haven't taken any visits yet, right?
Nope.
So
Portland, but
okay, fair. And so at this point, like, with the virus, how is that impacting your decision? Because, like you said, you want to commit to somewhere that you've visited. You want to go visit those 5 schools. Do you have a timeline for your decision, and how is everything being impacted?
Yeah, so obviously right now would be the time where I would be going on visits to different schools. But with this whole Corona thing, the latest I've heard is NCAA is stopping everything until at least April 15th. And so I will be going on visits till at least then. But I'm trying to get a feel for the campus and the college before I make my decision, because there's a lot of great choices and opportunities for me. And any college I choose, I'll be happy with. They're all great opportunities and to go play at the next level, which is a blessing to me. But so obviously the coronavirus is really pushing that decision back. But hopefully I'm going to be committing before I leave. Yeah.
When are you supposed to leave? Do you know?
Anywhere between June 20th to late July, mid or early August.
Okay, so you have time. What's it like making a decision just throughout this process, knowing that you're going to be deciding on a school that you won't be enrolled at for 2 years?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously you just got to find the right fit, the schools who want you, and the guys who are the early guys who are going to be there, the freshmen and sophomores are going to play with for the second year. There's a good fit between that and the coaches. You gotta be in with the coaches, and just to I don't know. I feel like just the right school as well. You just got to be able to see yourself playing for that school, and see yourself winning and competing for the coach and for the guys around you.
If you're just joining in live now, I'm Andy Bueller with Scorebook Live. This is Union's Tanner Toolson, who just wrapped up a decorated high school career, breakout senior season. Tanner, we've talked a lot about basketball here, but I'm curious to ask you some questions outside of basketball. Chief among them is, in the past couple weeks, as you've been out of school and kind of stuck with the stay-at-home order, is there a TV show that you've started to binge? Anything on Netflix? Any of the streaming services that you've taken a liking to?
Not necessarily a TV show, but my brother is home from Hawaii, and so me and him just playing Xbox with the FIFA and the 2K, just always playing him. That's been fun. Just I like to be outside, so going outside, bike rides and walks and stuff, and it's just been fun.
Who's your team in 2K?
The Jazz, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. For those who don't know, Tanner's dad Andy played for the Jazz. Is he in 2K at all? Is that throwback team in there?
No. So he missed it by 1 year actually.
Oh,
So, I had 2 years in there, but not the 91.
yeah, yeah. Okay, so I reached out. Let's just say some folks associated with Union's basketball program before this interview, and this is an important question that needs proper context. So I'm hoping that you can help us out with that. Who is Bathroom Boy? What does that mean? And where'd you learn to sing?
So so one of my teammates, Isaiah Bognath, he has a TikTok, and he heard me sing one time. He's like, "Dang, Tanner, you can really sing." And so he wanted me to sing for one of his TikToks, and I sang in the bathroom because he said I had the best or whatever, and it kind of went viral. And I was not expecting it at all. And then he showed me the next day. He's like, "Tanner, this has like 100,000 likes." I was like, "What the heck? Like that's crazy."
100,000 likes?
Yeah, in like 1 day. And then so yeah, I guess the Bathroom Boy TikTok thing got going, and then Isaiah called me Bathroom Boy right there. But yeah, it was just a fun little side thing that was, I don't know, it was just weird. I was not expecting it to blow up like that.
Did you make any repeat performances after it? Is this a recurring role?
Yeah, so me and Isaiah, we're brothers, and we're in close contact all the time. And he wants me to sing for his TikTok, and I was like, all right, whatever, I'll do it for him. And then it just kind of blew up. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I appreciate it. I can see a bunch of Union players and I'm sure your classmates weighing in, enjoying you talking about Bathroom Boy. So okay, so we have one question that I can see, and it's asking, when did you start playing basketball? Is this something you played throughout your whole life?
Yeah, so my dad, obviously, he played in the NBA for a few years. And all my brothers growing up, I have 4 older brothers, and I always remember playing basketball because I just love the sport, love the game, and always trying to be able to beat them, so get older to beat them. And just like I have like such a competitive spirit in me that if I lose a game, like we're playing another one. Like unless they quit, like we're playing another one. Like I'm not going home on a loss. But I don't know. I guess I started playing basketball ever since I could remember, ever since I could dribble a ball, and yeah.
Awesome, man. Well, Tanner, hey, thanks for joining me today on our very first Scorebook live interview here on Instagram. Great hearing about your process, whether it's throughout the season and your recruiting process as well. Wishing you the best of luck going forward, and stay safe out there.
Of course, thank you. Appreciate it. You too.
All right, we're gonna end the live now, Tanner. It's been great talking to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. We'll see you.